What's up, divas? Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to talk about my completing my sixth week on Phentermine and intermittent fasting. You might as well just say life after Phentermine. So that's my weight right now. That's my digital scale and my analog scale. Okay, so I'm gonna get dressed and I will talk about my weight loss in just a little bit. Okay, divas, so I have just gotten dressed and it's still morning time. I don't want to spend too much time from the time that I have weighed myself on my digital and analog scale to the time that I weigh myself on the public scale, because I noticed that as the day goes on, if I weigh myself later on in the afternoon, I could be a good 1-2 pounds heavier than I normally would be if I weigh myself in the morning. So I want to make sure that I weigh myself in the morning at the grocery store scale, and then I'm going to get into everything that I need to talk about with what's been going on these last 6 weeks. So this video is going to be a little bit more involved because this concludes the 6 weeks that I was doing the intermittent fasting. Well, I planned on doing intermittent fasting and using the Phentermine. So I am just going to give you guys a quick rundown of everything that I'm going to be talking about in this video, and then we will be off to do my update from the grocery store. So the first thing that I'm going to be doing in this video is I'm going to recap what my plan was to begin with, because some of you, you're new to my channel, you don't know who I am, which, let me introduce myself. I'm simply Carrie and I'm trying to lose weight. So I just want to do a recap. The second thing I want to do is where I started and ended after the 6 weeks. And I have to write this stuff down because, like I said, it's quite a bit to remember after 6 full weeks of being on all of this stuff. The other thing is, since my last video, which I did not come on and do another video entering the 6 weeks, I'm actually doing one now, finishing my 6 weeks. So since my last video, which was on October 12th, and I was starting my 5th week, I want to talk about what happened during that time period. And the last thing is what's been helpful to either lose or to maintain the weight. Okay, so those are the 4 things that I'm going to be talking about in this video. So stay tuned. I am going to hop in a car and go over to the grocery store and weigh myself. Okay, guys, so I'm in the car. I'm on my way to the grocery store, and I am going to do my recap of what I was supposed to be doing, what the plan was. And this is for the benefit of anybody who hasn't really seen all of my videos. You haven't seen my Phentermine videos. You haven't seen my intermittent fasting videos. If you haven't seen those, definitely go back. I've been on a journey for about a good year, but I decided to start taking Phentermine at the end of June. I did about a good 12 weeks of Phentermine use, and I documented everything throughout, so you can go back and check out any of those videos that I have. I started back in June, I believe it was like the 26th, something like that, and then I went till about September. I don't remember the exact date, but it was like 12 weeks of me being on Phentermine, and then I said, you know what, enough. I need to take a break from Phentermine. I don't want my body to get used to the medication. It already wasn't like the strongest and really giving me that weight loss that I really wanted to see. So I do want to get back on Phentermine, and I do plan on going back on Phentermine. In fact, that was the whole plan, to get back on Phentermine after giving my body a break. So I was really afraid of gaining weight back after Phentermine, because I have had an experience with Phentermine before. I've taken Phentermine, years ago, and it worked beautifully the first time I took it, but then I gained weight. But by the same token, I had gotten pregnant, so I really don't want to just throw it all on, well, Phentermine just, if you're not on it, you're just going to gain weight. So I really am not certain, completely certain, but it's my feeling that if you're not careful, you will gain that weight back. So I was fearful of that. And I decided that during that period that I was going to be off of Phentermine, and I was planning to do it somewhere between 6 and 8 weeks, something like that. I would do something in its place. So I came up with intermittent fasting. I figured intermittent fasting would be a good thing to help me with my health, help me maybe with some habits that I have, and just help me overall in general to, if not lose the weight, at least maintain it. Okay, so the idea with the intermittent fasting was I was going to do it, I was going to build momentum basically. So the first 2 weeks of intermittent fasting would be 16. I would be doing a 16-8. Okay, so 16 weeks of fasting, 8 weeks of I'm sorry, what am I talking about? Don't mind me. My brain goes into its own zone sometimes. But anyhow, 16 hours of fasting, 8 hours, the 8-hour window of eating. Okay. And then the following 2 weeks, I would up it and I would go to 18 hours of fasting and 6 hours of, a 6-hour window of eating. Then 2 weeks after that, I would up it again and go 20 hours of fasting and 4 hours, a 4-hour window of eating. Well, I can already tell you right now, that plan, it looks great on paper. It sounds good, but when it comes to putting it in action, I was not, that last 2 weeks, I'm sorry, I just wasn't able to do it. 20 hours with no eating, with somebody who is a foodie, who loves the food, who likes, I enjoy, that's part of life. I have a relationship with food. So 20 hours of me not dealing with food, no, it didn't happen. So my week 5 and my week 6, there was no 20 hours of fasting. I'm gonna go in here and weigh myself now. I've just gotten here to the grocery store. Okay, I'm here at the grocery store. What does that look like? 211? Yeah, maybe 211. Almost looks like 211 and a half to me. Okay. Now I'm on my way back home. So you got a chance to see what my weight looks like on the grocery store scale. It doesn't look like I lost anything from the previous, the last time that I was on the scale, which was, I believe, on the 12th of October. I believe that was the last video I did when I was actually starting my 5th week of the intermittent fasting and trying to do my Phentermine. Now, if you guys hear a lot of noise, it's because it's raining. I don't know if you can actually tell that it's raining. I've got my windshield wipers on, and it is pouring, so I hear the rain hitting on the top of my car. When I started the intermittent fasting, I was at, I have to try to write that down. I was at 222.2 pounds. And since I've gotten on the scale today, I've ended this, I'm at 215.8. So in all, from the time that I started until now, I have lost weight. I have lost 6.4 pounds. However, that's just overall, okay? As far as last week was concerned, let me see, I was 215. Last week, where was I? I was at 215.6. So I kind of gained like 2.2 pounds. Which, I mean, if you didn't have the you know, the ounces on there, then it would just be the same. I didn't lose anything from last week. Okay, so I'm gonna, I'm not sure how all of this sounds with this rain and everything, and I've got to concentrate. So I am going to get home and I will finish up everything that I need to talk about. Whew. All right, guys, so I am back home now. You got a chance to see what my weight was at the grocery store as well. So now I want to talk about basically the last 2 weeks since my last video on October 12th. What has been working, what has not been working, and what I've pretty much been doing about it. So since my last video, let's talk about some of the things that I said I was going to be doing. So the first thing on the plan was I was going to be eating protein in the morning. Okay, so the whole idea behind that is to try to keep those cravings down and to get me through lunch as well. If I can stay full through lunch or just not want to eat, I'm good. Okay, so in the morning I started out with salmon. I said, okay, well, I'm going to make it a kind of heavy meal. I'm going to eat salmon. I don't like eating salmon in the morning. Salmon, just, I don't know, for some reason in the morning, just trying to chew it and swallow it, it just seems like it's just not, just doesn't taste good in the morning like it does in the evening. But it does get the job done. It did keep me full. It did keep me from really craving anything super bad. So I will say that salmon is kind of a plus in the morning for me. For the exception of sometimes, you know, I really think about, oh, this is flesh. And like, I get all sorts of crazy thoughts in my head about meat sometimes. So salmon is okay, but and it does get the job done. Now, another thing that I was doing was boiled eggs. I would put those eggs in the pot, boil them, and as I'm ready to go, I can just have that to eat. And that did a pretty good job as well. So I will say that the eggs, having some eggs is a good thing. Okay, so the other thing that I was trying to do was, I have a coffee habit, all right? I wanted to kick the coffee and switch over to tea. Now, initially, after that video that I did, I wasn't kicking that habit. First off, I have my teapot. It's still in the box, okay? I opened it, I took it out, and I did nothing with it. I didn't even do anything with it at home. It's just still here. I still gotta like try to work it out. It was kind of difficult for me to do anything at work because then I realized I don't have a cup, or, you know, now since we're there, we can't even use a water fountain. I did have my water, so I was okay there. I didn't have lemons sliced up. I have to like have that ready to go. So trying to make my tea at work was too difficult for me. I did eventually start, if I did go to Dunkin' Donuts, I would buy some tea. I would buy, they have green tea. I think they also have black tea as well. So I would buy one of the two. And that worked out pretty good. Okay, but initially I was drinking a skinny latte. I would have a latte with low fat milk and 1 pack of Splenda. And what I would do is I would only drink it for about an hour. I like to sip. So I would sip on it for about an hour, and whatever's left, I toss it in the garbage. But eventually I kicked that habit and I am doing the tea. Okay, so in fact, I have these teas. I found some more tea. I've really kind of gotten into this tea. It's really cool. I like this. Okay, it's got all these different flavors of black tea, so I'm really kind of getting into the tea. Okay, so lunchtime would come, and now I'm not gonna say that I was good every single day for lunch. There were some days I was pretty good, and there were other days it was a mess. Well, I shouldn't say it was a real mess, but I would find myself going over to Dunkin' Donuts. There was one day I did get a Boston cream donut. There was another day that I did go ahead and get myself a ham, egg, and cheese on an English muffin. But for the most part, I was able to kind of skip lunch. I would just go without lunch. I would go across the street and get my, at the time when I first started, it was the coffee, but then I started to switch over and just get the tea. Okay, so I wouldn't say that every day I was bad, but there was a day here and there where I was, I slipped up a little bit during lunch. I mean, it wasn't a super bad thing because breakfast wasn't that bad. Okay, and then of course, the whole idea between eating breakfast and then trying to get to dinner was I would be kind of fasting in between. So if I did slip up and do something in the afternoon, I was kind of breaking that fast a little bit. So the fasting was kind of like, it was a hit or miss at that point for me. And a lot of it kind of had to do with stress as well. And I'm going to talk about the stress in just a moment. Let's see, what's another thing that I did? Okay, so by the time the end of the day came, and mind you, I was not taking the Phentermine. I would just completely forget that I even had the Phentermine. So I wasn't taking it at all at this point. Let's see, I would get to dinner and I would either have a salad. Sometimes, I did try the V8. I did do a V8. By the time I drank the V8, I was pretty disgusted with the taste in my mouth, and I didn't want anything else. I mean, the liquid got me full, the taste got me disgusted, and I just didn't want to eat. I was just done. Okay, I did not have a V8 every single day. I did have a salad. Sometimes I just didn't even feel like eating. I might snack on some grapes. I think snacking was the issue for me. The snacking, and then I kind of skip eating dinner, okay? Or I might sample something and then that would kind of be it. So I might go and snack on grapes, or something like that, and that would kind of be it for me. But there was also my issue with nighttime eating. So close to time for me to go to bed, I'm finding myself just, I don't know, maybe out of a boredom or something, just wanting to go and get something to eat. There was nothing really that I wanted to, I wasn't like eating dinner. It would be something like I don't remember exactly what it was. I did write those things down, but I did notice that I was snacking at night. A toast with jelly. I didn't even have jelly, but I found like little packs of jelly and I would put the jelly on the toast. So I would have some toast, wouldn't even have dinner, but I'd have toast. But when I look overall at what I was eating, I really wasn't eating that much. Now, let me just tell you what my weight started to look like. This is where I really started to get concerned. And I don't know if this really had to do with me not eating too much, but by, I would say the 13th, this is right after I did the video, okay, I started feeling this swollen feeling, okay, and I ended up being 216 pounds. Then I dropped back down to 215 the following day. Actually, if I look at my nighttime weight, it went up. So it went from 217 to 218 to 219, and this is where I'm like flipping out. Okay, this is like right that week right after I did my video. I'm feeling my stomach is swollen. I felt gassy and bloated. I just felt miserable. Okay, I had not been tracking my my cycle, so I had no idea exactly when it was going to come on. So I started to think, okay, it's got to be something that's causing me to creep up on the scale at night. I'm just noticing that it's going up. So what is it? My weight gain had to be attributed to one of three things. Number one, I was smoking because I was stressed. Number two, I was drinking the lattes. And number three, my cycle, I don't know. My cycle was supposed to come. I wasn't really sure. So those were the three things that I could think would possibly help me to build up the weight. The way I started to see it creep up, I got really scared, and then I went into action to try to, stop what was going on. So it turns out that my cycle was more the culprit than anything, because it did come, and let's see, it did come. So that was pretty much the contributing factor. Okay, so I stepped up my game and I put some strategies in place, some solid things to try to get my weight back to where it should be, and to counteract what was going on with either the smoking or the stress or the cycle, whatever it was. Okay, I had to do something. So one of the things I did was, number one, I cut out the lattes. That was done. Over with the lattes, not touching it. I was strictly tea. Okay, and that's really when I started going to Dunkin' Donuts and getting the tea from them, and I would just keep it at work, and then I would not put Splenda in it either. So I just drink the tea with little lemon wedges. The second thing that I did was 5-HTP. I went out and got this from the store. Okay, it's 5-HTP with vitamin B6. Now, I don't know a whole lot that I can really sit here and have a whole conversation. I will do that in another video about 5-HTP, but I do remember a weight loss doctor giving me 5-HTP along with Phentermine at one point. And I do believe that 5-HTP, I don't remember what it's called, tryptophan, I don't remember, it's some name. But it's supposed to be helpful as far as cravings are concerned. And I think it may also help with hormones. Don't quote me on this, I'm not sure, but it's supposed to give you some energy. It's supposed to cut those cravings. So I started taking that, and I did notice that my cravings, I didn't really have cravings like that, but I was able to not touch stuff. Okay, so the 5-HTP actually was kind of helping me. And more so, I was looking for 5-HTP because of the hormone situation. I wanted to counteract that. So I got it more so not for the cravings, but for the hormone situation with my cycle. By the time I got it, it was pretty much over anyway, and I did see the weight drop. It went from, I would say on the 18th, it went from, no, I'm sorry, the 17th. It went from, no, in fact, I'm gonna go back to the 16th. It went from 219, 217, 216. I started to just see it decrease. And I'm looking at nighttime weight, okay? This is nighttime weight. This is not early morning weight. My early morning weight stayed at about 215. It might creep up to 216, and it'll drop back down to 215. But my nighttime weight was the one that I was concerned about. That I would see incrementally creep up, and that was just for me an indicator that, hey, something might be wrong here. Let's get this together. Okay, so I did get the 5-HTP on board. And because I wasn't sure if the smoking was the cause of any of that weight coming up, I did pull out my Nicoderm CQ patches for the smoking, because I have to get rid of that smoking habit. That's ridiculous. So this one is a step 2 that I was on. I had gotten these from a group that I had participated in, a smoking group to stop smoking, and I did stop. Well, I really only stopped smoking because of COVID. That's the only reason. I did not want lung problems, and then there's COVID running around in here. So that's pretty much why I stopped smoking. I can't really, this will help you to stop, okay? But the only reason why it'll help you to stop is because you're gonna be, I felt sick, okay? So I was taking it, and I'm not gonna get into all of the, I can do a whole video on Nicoderm CQ and everything that happens with it, but I did stop the smoking, I will say that, but I was sick, so that's why I was not smoking. Right now, no, I don't want to smoke, only because I don't, that thought is fresh in my head about being sick, and how it makes me feel. But when I get stressed out, Does it still pop in my head to get something? Yes, it does. So I'm not sure that Nicoderm is a complete answer to not smoking, but right now, temporarily, yes, it is helping me to not smoke. So now that I have completed my 6 weeks of intermittent fasting and dealing with my Phentermine, my plans for the future right now is to, number one, I will be eventually getting back on Phentermine because there's quite a bit of weight that I do want to lose. So I will be going back onto Phentermine. I'm just not sure exactly when I'm going to do that right now. So it may be another month before I even get back on Phentermine. But what I was thinking to do in the meantime is I am going to keep things as is as far as my eating, the way I'm eating, the intermittent fasting. I'm going to keep the 5-HTP on board. I'm going to try to do some strategies as far as stress and relationships with food. I'm going to be working with that, the tea, all that good stuff I'm going to be continuing to do. But I think that what I'm going to do moving forward is I am going to try a program. I'm not really sure which program I'm going to try right now, whether it's going to be Noom or the Mayo Clinic diet. Okay, so I'm still looking at the two, and I'm probably going to try one of those two shortly. So look out for a video on that. Look out for a video on 5-HTP. Look out for a video on Nicoderm, CQs, and stop smoking. And look out for a video on a mood journal. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and conclude this video. I do want to say thank you to everybody who has subscribed to my channel and everybody who has been watching my videos and supporting me. I really do appreciate you. I also want to say those of you who have watched my video this far, you must like it. And if you liked it, definitely give me a thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed yet, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and so that you don't miss any of the videos that I will have coming up, because I am trying to get to 145 pounds and it looks like it's going to take me a while to get there. But as I go, I will be letting you know how I'm doing, what I'm doing. Okay, so I will see you guys in the next video. I will be coming out with something shortly this week. Okay, all right, so take care. I will see you. Bye.